What's up, y'all? My name is Ray. If you're here for the first time, welcome. And to my returning viewers, I am humbled to welcome you back for another video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. It's pretty cool. You'll make my day. I'm new to Discord, and you can follow me on Twitter. I'll leave links for those in the description. So the other day, my YouTube algorithm decided it was time to put another conservative intellectual blowhard on my radar and introduced me to one Professor Gad Saad. To give you a little background on Professor Saad and to kick off today's discussion, I'll briefly paraphrase now from Wikipedia. Gad Saad is a 58-year-old Lebanese Canadian marketing professor at the John Milson School of Business at Concordia University. He is known for applying evolutionary psychology to marketing and consumer behavior. Saad was born in Lebanon and has lived in Canada for most of his life after his family escaped the Lebanese Civil War when he was 11 years old. He's an atheist who describes himself as culturally Jewish. He also writes a blog for Psychology Today and has a YouTube channel titled The Sad Truth. As of February 2023, this channel has almost 30 million views. My personal additions to that description are as follows. He's a right wing author, Twitter junkie with almost 700,000 followers, and content creator who uses a Thomas Sowell esque brand of intellectualism to shroud his intolerance in the trappings of academia. His most popular tweets and videos are usually racist, transphobic, self aggrandizing little rants, often given in defense of right wing figures like Joe Rogan or Jordan Peterson, or jumping aboard whatever anti woke flavor of the month the right wing media is peddling at the time. I don't think he's an idiot or anything. He's clearly very intelligent and well educated, but I do think he is a condescending egotist who harbors some very antiquated and bigoted ideas. He's the kind of person who sees wokeness in every issue and around every corner and is afraid that soon every month will be Black History Month. So let's get into exactly why we're here. Just the other day, Sad posted a video to his YouTube channel in response to an interview actor Bryan Cranston gave with CNN, and it's one of the most irritating little pieces of content I had sat through in weeks. Just the tone, the tenor, everything really gets under my skin. I mean, he's just reading his tweet aloud, but you'll see. First, let's check out what Bryan Cranston had to say to CNN about the slogan, Make America Great Again, MAGA, and how some people might interpret it as having racist undertones. We'll pause to briefly consider our thoughts before watching and comparing to Professor Sad's take. Here we go.
When I see the Make America Great Again, my comment is, do you accept that that could possibly be construed as a racist remark? And most people, a lot of people go, how could that be racist? Make America great again? I said, so just ask yourself from an African American experience, when was it ever great in America for the African American? When was it great? So if you're making it great again, it's not including them. So it's to teach us in the woke world to open up and accept the possibilities that our privilege has created blind spots for us. And maybe I haven't seen what is really happening yet in all my years.
Yeah, I love that. Great stuff all around. Does Mr. Cranston phrase everything exactly how I would? Of course not. And by the way, he's not giving a dissertation here. He's speaking off the cuff in an interview, and I think he does so intelligently and genuinely. Okay, let's see what Professor Sad had to say.
So here is my reply to Bryan Cranston. I'm going to read it for you. This is precisely what I refer to as progressive self-flagellation.
Hold on, what's self flagellation? He didn't express any personal guilt or self loathing. He was honestly reflecting on what he's learned of US history and its impact on today's society. Whatever, continue.
Yes, slavery is an indelible part of American history, Bryan Cranston, but it would be difficult to find a society today that is less racist than the United States.
Don't you just hate when somebody condescendingly addresses you by your name in an argument? Like, excuse me, Gad Saad, but just because America might be one of the very best places in the world to live doesn't mean we don't have plenty of room to improve. We're not a finished product just because we might be one of the best things on the market right now. What a defeatist attitude to constantly jump to complaining and defensiveness as soon as anyone utters a sentiment short of, we're perfect and always have been. All right, what else?
Regrettably, slavery has been the norm throughout human history, so it was nothing unique to the American experience. The United States has atoned for its part in endless ways.
Okay, two things. One, chattel slavery in the Americas was absolutely, unquestionably unique in world history. Okay, no, Gad Saad, slavery as a concept and a practice didn't originate with the transatlantic slave trade. Literally, no one says that. But the conditions under which American chattel slavery thrived never existed prior to that period, with mercantilism and then the Industrial Revolution. So to suggest that every instance of forced labor throughout human history can be written off as the exact same phenomenon is intellectually dishonest at best. It sounds like we're listening to Thomas Sowell all of a sudden. And two, what does he mean America has atoned in endless ways? The assassination of Malcolm X, the Selma March, the Watts riots, the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., all of these events happened in Saad's lifetime, and he thinks America is done reckoning with its past? It's ridiculous.
I'm a descendant of slaves by virtue of being Jewish. I escaped execution in Lebanon, and yet I don't hold all Lebanese, all Muslims, all Palestinians, all Egyptians, meaning pharaohs, as responsible for my history. I accept the past, process it, and move on.
So, what Saad is doing here is comparing himself to some woke straw man, right? He doesn't hold all Egyptians accountable, but he implies that Bryan Cranston, and thus the rest of us who empathize with his sentiment, seek to blame and shame all white Americans for slavery. This is ludicrous. I'm obviously not holding anyone alive today accountable for slavery, and I certainly didn't hear anything from Mr. Cranston that leads me to believe he is either. Back to it.
There is nothing noble about you being the white liberal savior, Bryan Cranston, of African Americans.
The disrespect is palpable here, and it really irks me. Who says Cranston is trying to be anyone's savior? The man is reflecting upon his thoughts regarding American history and the African American experience from the perspective of a privileged heterosexual white man. There's nothing wrong with that. It's an admirable thing to intellectually empathize with people from different backgrounds and experiences, and it certainly doesn't automatically imply some kind of savior complex. Okay, I know we're never going to get through this if I keep pausing every 10 seconds, but it's really hard when Saad crams so much dishonest vitriol into every sentence. I'm going to try to let him finish his thoughts here, and then we'll circle back to our critiques, okay? Here we go.
All of the misplaced self-flagellation is not going to resolve the existential guilt that you feel for having succeeded as an actor. Elevate people rather than offer them a path for perpetual victimhood wallowing. America is great. America is the place that every prospective immigrant seeks to become a member of, precisely because it is an anomalous bastion of goodness, fairness, and kindness. Yes, it has historical stains, but today it is no longer defined by those stains. You may wish to read the works of Thomas Sowell.
There's our friend Thomas Sowell. It figures he'd make an appearance here. Okay, I said I was going to let him finish, and I will.
There is nothing racist about the MAGA slogan. It is a message of hope, just like the one espoused by a recent African American U.S. President, Barack Obama, for whom millions of white Americans voted twice. Stop your Malibu signaling of faux empathy. Treat all people with the dignity that they deserve. African Americans do not need your Malibu virtue signaling.
Wow, that was a lot. All right, let's see. He went after that tired white guilt thing. He did the we have a black friend thing, bringing up Obama. He casually dismissed Cranston's remarks as Malibu virtue signaling. And he argued that the catchphrase Make America Great Again is a message of hope. First of all, I'm getting old now, and I still don't know where all this whining about white guilt comes from. Are people just watching libs of TikTok all day or what? Like, sure, there are some liberal arts majors and social activists out there who go overboard and end up looking silly, But the vast majority of socially conscious people on the left are just trying to be honest about the state of the world and figure out the best approach for continuous improvement on a societal scale. That's it. I'm not looking to assign blame to anyone living today for things that happened hundreds of years ago. I mean, I certainly won't be taking direct responsibility for anyone else's actions. It's not about white guilt, it's about an honest assessment of our history and its impact on today's society. Secondly, Obama is awesome. No notes. Thirdly, who exactly does he suppose that Mr. Cranston is Malibu virtue signaling for? You really think he's concerned about scoring points or something? Points with whom? Get out of here with that. And finally, MAGA as a message of hope? Yeah, and I suppose the marked increases in right wing extremism and hate crimes across the nation since 2016 are purely coincidental with regard to Trump and MAGA. Hell, I don't even think many Trumpsters would argue that MAGA is a message of hope. It's more like their battle cry. And look, I don't know Bryan Cranston at all. I strongly suspect neither does Professor Saad. So I just want to be clear that this is only my interpretation of Cranston's very brief remarks from that video. I obviously can't speak directly for the man. But okay, we know now what Saad sees when he watches that clip of Mr. Cranston's interview. Let me tell you what I see. I see a man nurturing his wisdom. I see a man seeking enlightenment through reflection on his own perspective of the world, its intricacies, its flaws. I see someone dedicated to continuous learning, to continuous improvement. I see someone continuing to hone their opinions and growing more confident in them. And to me, those are all awesome things. And when I see someone my age, older, grown ass people continuing to embrace that attitude and that way of living, well, it makes me really happy. And with that, maybe I'll end this on a high note for a change, yeah? If you've stuck with me this long, I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed this content and you want to see more, please leave a like on the video. Leave me some thoughts or feedback in the comments or just say hi. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. It's pretty cool. You'll make my day. Check out my socials in the description. Thanks again for stopping by. I hope I see y'all again soon. Peace out.